Hey everybody, Jeff Willson here, coming to you with our Home Loan Steps series. I wanted to elaborate a little bit on that initial 20-minute conversation that I noted a couple weeks back. We have to get a lot of information in that 20-minute conversation, but it'll get us on the path that we need to be on in order to get you into your new home. We're going to talk about the first steps in purchasing your new home. When we sit down and we start having that conversation, there's going to be a series of questions I'm going to ask you, and you don't need documentation in order to answer it initially. We'll get the documentation after the conversation. It's just a very relaxed, laid-back conversation about what we need to get started. First thing we want to talk about is, where do you want to buy your new home? Have you found a new home? It's very important for us to understand where you want to buy your new home, or at least get an idea of an area where you want to buy it. Then we'll talk about what purchase prices you're looking at, how much you want to put down, what type of a loan are you looking for, 30-year fixed, 15-year fixed, etc. After that, we'll move on to your personal information. We'll talk to you about how to get a hold of you in the future, phone numbers, emails, addresses, etc. We want to move on then to a 2-year residential history. We want to know where you've lived for the last 2 years, what you've paid in rent, have you owned it, and what you did with that property, if you sold it or if you moved on to renting it. Things like that. We want to talk about what you've done the last 2 years as far as your personal residential history. After that, we're going to move on to employment history. We want to talk about what you've been doing in regards to earning income for the past 2 years. When we move on to that income conversation, we're going to ask you if you're a W-2 employee. Do you receive a salary? Do you receive an hourly income? Or are you self-employed? If you're self-employed, is your business a sole proprietorship or is it an LLC? Then we're going to talk about assets. We're going to want to know what type of liquid assets you have in the bank that you can use to help you buy this new home. 401k, savings, checking, etc. After all of that, we're going to take a look at your credit. We're going to run a credit check and see if your credit scores meet the minimum requirements needed in order to qualify for the mortgage that you're looking to take out. After we do all of that, we're going to move on to determining the best loan program for us to pursue. FHA, conventional, 30-year fixed, etc., etc. After all of that is done, we figured out what we're going to do and where we're headed. That's when I'm going to ask you to provide documentation, because we'll know what documentation to get from you. I hope this helps. Please reach out to us if you have any questions or if you need anything at all. We are more than happy to help. Again, this is Jeff Willson with the Willson team at Guaranteed Rate, where we are upfront and to the point.